Hey there! So, I finally did it. I joined a game jam. I made games for years, but never took a jam seriously, so why not to change? This one lasted 9 days. Let me tell you how it went. The jam started Friday at 3 p.m. I missed the start point because I was at work. Hooray! Later that evening, I checked the page. The theme was Decay. So if you don't know, game jams usually have a theme where you have to build your game around a word or around an event or around something. And this one had the theme of Decay. And sometimes they have wildcard, like this one had Fusion, Light Out, and upgrades as wildcards. So let's take a moment to the word decay and look at it. This is just nerdy for people who like nerd stuff. I studied engineering in college, and my thesis were geochronology and unstable isotopes. So, what does that mean? I simply dated wrong, but not that kind of dating, the other kind, the cool one where I figure out how old they are. So, decays to me have a meaning of change. Not always to bad, but sometimes from chaos to stability. Because that's what I mostly did in college, looking at isotopes that were unstable and crazy, and then they went to stable and crazy. So, anyway, you would think I started working on my game right away, right? Nope, I did nothing for 2 days. So, finally, it's Sunday night, and I came up with an idea. I decided to make a game like Parchess, but add a card element to it. So it's kind of mixed between that game and Sorry at the same time, with a twist. And I did this because the wild card was Fusion, and I wanted to include that as part of the game. So, my original thought was, the longer you keep the cards in your hand, the lower their value becomes. And to add another layer of complexity to the project, I decided to make it in 3D. Have I ever made a 3D game in Godot before? Nope. Do I know how the engine fully works? No. So why do it? I don't know. I guess I like a challenge, maybe? Who knows? So this is the part where you will think I actually opened Godot and started working on my game loop. But no, I decided to open Blender and learn it for the very first time. I guess you can see where this thing is going. So I ended up making few models like a dice, a character which I didn't use, and the tiles, which I end up changing later as well. So it's Monday. Back to work that pays the bill teaching future generation. Then back to suffering, I mean the game, you know. So I chose hexagon as my tiles, because hexagon are the bestagon. But hexagon have 6 sideds, hence the name, hexa, 6, Movement get complicated when you're working with hexagon, but they are the bestagon, so why not? Except I could not figure out how to do my spacing and laying out the tiles. The map looked very empty, so I had to make the decision of switching back to the boring squares. So here is the other problem. There is a tool in Godot that I didn't know existed that would have saved me long hours whenever I was building my map, and I'm sure everyone by this time already figured it out. We will get to it later. So I decided to abandon this part of the project and work on something simpler, like my dice logic. And let me tell you this, I decided to make it all by myself without looking up tutorials. And I actually did a good job for the very first time. So let me tell you how this dice work. I'm not using gradecast to determine which face is up and which face is down. I'm actually using nodes. Yes, I just place a node in the center of each face, and whatever node has the highest Y value is the dice roll. Simple, right? Very simple. No raycast, very simple logic. I think it's less memory usage, which I don't think anyone cares those days because machines are very strong. But if you're a nerd like me and you like to figure out how memory blah blah blah, I guess this is a way to go. So remember the tool from day 4? Did you know that you can actually create a grid map in 3D? What? I know, right? Who would have guessed that? Hear me out though. I didn't know if Godot had it because when I looked it up, I was looking for 3D tile map. I even asked ChatGPT about it, and it told me that there is no such a thing as 3D tile map in Godot, which technically he was right, or it was right, but I mean, come on, you could have been like, well, use grid map because it's basically the same idea. Yeah. So yeah, all those hours spent adjusting the tiles manually was wasted time. So now I have this tool, I cut lots of time building my map. I also managed to make my player move with the roll of dice and how many steps it can take based on the roll you got. But then again, the map looked sad and ugly, mostly because I didn't know anything about 3D lights. So I went to YouTube and I learned a little bit about it, and I realized it will take me days to figure this out and be able to actually do something good with it. So what all I accomplished today? A map that I won't be using, and a movement system I won't be using either. Guess who changed their idea again? Yep, it was me. I thought this game idea would not work because you will only be able to play against bots, and if I wanted it to be fun I would have to make it against people online, but I didn't have the time for that. So I decided to make it into a different idea. I decided on a chess-like game where you have different characters and you are fighting on a grid system. Any guesses how long I stuck with this idea too? If you guessed only one day, yep, you would be right. So I just wasted the whole day working on an idea that I won't even be using. And the reason I decided to drop it at the end of the day, it was because I will have to build more characters, I will have to figure out fighting system, and 3 days won't cut that for me. So I decided to move to a puzzle game. Let's see how long we will stick with this idea. I finally started working on my game, and it's gonna be a puzzle game. It's gonna be a very simple game. All you have to do is get the key to open the gate and move on to the next level. The way you get the key will be through solving a puzzle. And you will also have cards in hand, and those cards will have different powers, like freezing time, shield, and others. And this table here will show you all the power-ups I had in mind and how they work. So I worked on the first level, which teaches you the basic movement. The second level had 2 towers. One tower that fired continuously, and the other tower fired every time you moved. I just added those 2 types of enemies to make it more interesting. And wrapped up all my work and went home to get ready for a long Thanksgiving break. After a fun day with my family, I went back to my PC to work on the game. I logged into GitHub to get my game files, but I realized I did not sync my game files from my work PC. So all that progress I did this morning went out the window. I almost stopped working there and went to bed, but then I thought, why give up now? You don't even have enough time to work on it. Your games suck, your game doesn't even look good, but why don't you just push through and get it done? This is your first game jam, you want to turn in something, you want to make a name for yourself, I guess. So I went back to work, and with a lot of coffee and dedication, by 3 AM I managed to get to the same point I got to this morning. Minus few elements, and I decided to change them. But now, hey, look at my player. He can push a box. He can die when he touches a laser. He can pick up a key. And did I mention it's a slime now? Look at that slime jiggling. Is that inappropriate? Let's do it one more time. I woke up at 6 in the morning today because the dogs wanted their breakfast, so I only had 3 hours of sleep. Then I went back to sleep until 8, so I actually got enough time to sleep. My plan was to work around my baby's sleeping schedule and finish at least 4 levels today and the card system. Did I mention that I don't have the light element figured out yet? So today was as good as you would expect from the rest of my journey. But I did actually put some work today. I managed to finish 3 levels. Those levels are the tutorial levels, which should show you how the game mechanic work. I finally managed to add the playing card system on the game. I did not get to level 4, which was my goal, but you know, you do what you can do. The game jam is due today. I woke up as early as I can to get as much work done as possible. I managed to finish level 4, I made a quick art for the cards, and I even got my wife to test the game. And she asked me the million-dollar question: where is the decay element in your game? Yep, here we are, less than 1 hour from submission, and my game does not have the most important part, the decay element. My original thought was to decay the cards every few seconds or every few steps, so their value goes down the longer you're holding to them. For example, if one of them was gonna freeze the time for 10 seconds, the longer you hold it, the less time it's going to freeze the map for. But because I don't have time to add that feature now and decide on the art of the card decaying, I decided to make the map decay every 2 seconds. So every 2 seconds, a tile will disappear. So I didn't really handle the decay part right, because the map randomly decays, so the tiles by the exit could actually decay and soft lock you, or the tiles that hold the key could decay and then you can't get the key anymore. So you see, that's a problem I would need to fix. If you made it this far in the video, I want to just thank you and ask you to like and subscribe to my channel, because you know, if you like this one, you probably would like the other ones. Needless to say, I managed to turn in the game with 5 minutes left on the timer. So I will leave you the link in the description below if you want to play it. I love the game concept and I'm planning on working on it more after today. So there are a few things I would need to add and fix, like some logical problems with the codes, like the soft logs, and I will need also to add music and sound effect, and fix my 3D animation and artwork. So all that to say, this project will actually become a big idea that I'm planning on publishing for mobile and PC at one point. So if you're interested in following this journey, please subscribe to the channel and leave me a comment and tell me what do you want to see next. Bye!